Our three judges are Robert Hoyle, Dave Moretti, and Ricardo Ocasio. Once again, our referee in charge is Joe Cortez. Introducing first, he'll be fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the red and white trunks, and he weighed in at 221 pounds. His professional record stands at 1 victory with 2 defeats. From Phoenix, Arizona, introducing Chad the Hitman Davis. And across the ring in the blue corner, his opponent entered the ring tonight wearing these solid black trunks, and he weighed in at 222 pounds. His record stands at 2 victories with no losses, including 1 draw, both wins by knockout. From Bassett, Virginia, here is the Rain Man, Elijah, the real Mccall.
You know, Tripp, noteworthy, again, we talk about a fighter's corner. I mean, look at everybody at Elijah McCall's corner beside his father. I mean, you see some big heavyweights over there, if you want to put it that way. You got Reggie Jackson, who's former trainer of WBA heavyweight champ Mike Weaver. You also see Joel Judah, who's the father of Zab Judah, in that corner as well.
And speaking of real top-notch people, we talk about the corner. We've got Al Bernstein sitting in. Al, welcome.
Nice to see you guys. How you doing? This is a fun evening, and so far a lot of fun fights.
Well, no question about it. Let's talk for a second emotionally about what it's like to have to fight a little later in the call, Oliver Mccall, in the night, I should say, watching his son fight. That could be a tenuous thing.
It's always tricky. We've seen brothers, you know, that have had to watch each other, occasionally fathers and sons. And, yeah, when you're fighting later on and you have to watch your son and be out here at ringside on top of it. This is the second time Oliver's been out here at ringside working in a fighter's corner. So it's an intriguing situation.
Well, there's no question about it. A lot of brain power in that corner. And the young man that he's fighting, Davis, coming in here. Davis in the red and white trunks. A big man, no question about it, a heavyweight.
What's interesting about Chad Davis is his 1 victory came over MMA star Rico Rodriguez back in July of last year. In his last outing, he lost a decision to Henry Namao, who we've seen many times here at the Orleans. So he's been in against good opposition, certainly, Tripp, at least for early in his career. Of course, Elijah McCall, I mean, learning as a pro, no amateur background whatsoever, was a defensive end at Sam Madison University prior to taking up professional boxing. So, great athlete, but it's tricky for a guy to learn as a pro.
Well, we harken back to, Carlos, you're too young to remember this. Al, a little younger than I am, but we remember Ed Too Tall Jones' transition from the Cowboys to boxing was not seamless.
Not seamless. If only that were true, Tripp.
Oh, we can't forget Mark Gastineau either, another former NFL star whose transition in boxing was less than smooth.
Lonzo Highsmith, another football player, tried to turn to professional boxing. It's tricky. But if you start at an age, I think when he did, and you can be brought along and you have the genes, it's conceivable you can get the job done.
One thing that's interesting I've always noticed about former football players, if they get in trouble in the ring, they often resort to what they know, which is the leg drive. So you can often see ex-football players sort of try to run through their opponents. We haven't seen that from Elijah, who just threw a very good left hook to the body there.
He's a very good body puncher. I know Elijah Thomas, who works with him, has been really working with him to try and get him to work the body a lot, and he gets great leverage on his punches.
Elijah Thomas, your fellow Chicago one.
Yes, indeed. I've known him for a long time from the Windy City.
Oh, and look at that. You just mentioned his body punching. Al Bernstein, and we get a perfect example of it.
Boy, and you can tell Davis is just, he almost got the will knocked out of him there.
With that look on his face, it's not good. Reminiscent of what we saw earlier with Joel Gonzalez, the guy that might be questioning why he's in there right now.
That's a look like when you get a letter from the IRS.
Hasn't happened yet, Tripp, but we'll try to avoid that.
And Carlos, you got to pay taxes. And that'll do it. Second knockdown of the round. I don't see him getting up.
Well, his heart's certainly going to be questioned right now. No, he's taking a count, Tripp. You're right. Boy, 2 vicious right hands to the body ended this fight.
Smart move by Elijah McCall. You know, going downstairs, after he had that first knockdown, he came in, threw a left hook upstairs, and you could see the wheels turning. He's thinking, I've got to go back down to the body, and he did, and of course that created the stoppage.
Look, for a young man with such little experience, it's a beautiful thing to see him thinking like that in the ring, isn't it, Al?
Yeah, and I believe that heavyweights like him who fight that aggressive style, if they commit to the body and they work the body, so many heavyweights are not in good shape. that if you commit to the body and you commit to it early in a fight, you're going to win a lot of heavyweight fights.
Well, that's a big point right there because heavyweights don't have to make weight, and you do see it often. And these guys are maybe a little soft in the midsection. Very intelligent game plan there. Impressive win. I got to tell you, we're going to get a replay of this, guys, and we're going to get a look at exactly how it went down. There it was.
Well, that was just a very hard right hand. Right, it took the will right out of him, and you see Davis down. And I think Davis, looking at him right now, he doesn't appear to be hurt. I just kind of took the will out of him.
Let's go to Jake Gutierrez for the particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Cortez reaches the count of 10 at 2 minutes 49 seconds of the first round. The winner by knockout, he is still undefeated, the Rain Man, Elijah the Real Mccall.
Well, you've seen a young man mature as a professional fighter. Last time out, he had a tricky opponent in Alvaro Morales. But tonight, boy, it was all Elijah Mccall. All Elijah Mccall.
And you take a look at his father, very proud father standing behind him. And you got to talk about just great lineage there.
Absolutely, as we see another look at